2 days after Serena Williams lost the US Open final, a cartoon was published of her antics in the Australian newspaper The Herald Sun, created by cartoonist Mark Knight. If you haven't already seen it, Williams has been portrayed as an angry baby jumping up and down on her racquet, with her dummy lying on the court beside her. This perfectly fits with the Australian phrase, to spit the dummy. The phrase just means that a person, often an adult, has lost their temper and is acting in a rather childish, petulant way. That is, they're acting like a baby who has spat out their dummy, i.e. pacifier, during a tantrum. And that's exactly how one could describe Serena's actions during the final. In the final match against Naomi Osaka, Williams was given 3 code violations. I've posted a link to the video of the actual incidents below. The first violation was for coaching. She denied any wrongdoing. However, her coach, Mouratoglou, has openly admitted to coaching, but he also stated that he coaches in almost every single game without penalty. Williams claims she never saw any of the coaching. However, that's not a precondition for the rule to be broken. If the coach is caught coaching, the player is penalised. Mouratoglou claimed that all other coaches do it, but that's no more a defence than saying to a police officer when you get caught speeding, all other drivers speed. For Williams, the first violation resulted in a formal warning. The second breach was for breaking her racket after she double faulted. If you watch the video, clearly she was frustrated, but that's still no excuse to smash your racket on the floor. She has to remember that there are a lot of young girls watching the match who look up to her. This is not the behaviour of a good role model. Williams certainly knew that by smashing her racket, she broke a rule, so she has no one else to blame for this except herself. At the Grand Slam level, the second violation results in a point penalty. Afterwards, Williams spoke with the umpire, Carlos Ramos, and claimed that she didn't get coaching and that she doesn't cheat. She told the umpire that he owes her an apology. The problem is, Williams wouldn't let it go. She kept openly berating the umpire and threatening him with words such as, "You will never, ever, ever be on another court of mine as long as you live." She went on to say that Ramos stole a point from her and that he's a thief too. Consequently, her third code violation was for verbal abuse, and deservedly so. This resulted in a game penalty in accordance with International Tennis Federation rules. Williams continued to claim that she deserved an apology and that the umpire stole a point from her. She wouldn't let it go. The referee, Brian Early, was called onto the court to hopefully resolve the dispute. Williams claimed that she was being treated differently because she was a woman. She claimed that male players have done things much worse, but yet didn't get the same penalties. I take issue with that claim. Even if she's 100% correct that male players get away with a lot more, she has no right to use that as an excuse to act like she did. Does she mean that because males have gotten away with it in the past, she should have the right to break the rules now? She should have the right to act in an unsportsmanlike way? I mean, the claim is ridiculous. She obviously wants to cover up her bad actions by claiming the umpire was being sexist. The whole thing was hard to watch and was not becoming of a professional, world-class athlete who was a role model for potentially millions of young people around the world. Even if she was 100% correct and that the umpire made a mistake, this was not the right way to deal with it. She should have known better. It's a shame that she let her emotions get the best of her in such an overt and dramatic way. Ultimately, she was fined a total of $17,000, which came out of her $1.85 million prize money. Just for your interest, the umpire was paid $450, which is the daily rate for all USTA umpires. And now to the cartoon. It shows Williams throwing a tantrum, jumping on her racket, and spitting the dummy, so to speak. Osaka is in the background, staying cool and collected, being asked by the umpire, "Can you just let her win?" There have been claims of racism in the cartoon due to the over-accentuated features of Williams. However, it is a cartoon. I think we can all admit that every character in almost every cartoon has over-accentuated features. If you look at the depiction of the umpire, his nose is extremely long. Do we hear Carlos Ramos coming out and saying that this depiction of noses is racist against Portuguese people? There have been claims that Osaka has been drawn as a white woman with blonde hair, but to be fair, she did have her ponytail bleached blonde in the pictures that I've seen, and honestly, can we really expect cartoons to be an accurate depiction of the people involved? If you really want to see people as they really are, you should be looking at photos of them, not cartoons. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, sent out a tweet stating, "Well done on reducing one of the greatest sportswomen alive to racist and sexist tropes and turning a second-great sportswoman into a faceless prop." Maybe Mark Knight should draw a cartoon of J.K. Rowling sitting high in a tower of one of her mansions, tapping away on Twitter late at night. There should be a list of things to be outraged about, pinned to the wall. Racism and sexism are first on the list and have been crossed off, with the cartoon of Serena Williams pinned nearby. Peter Blunden of the Herald Sun tweeted, "Serena Williams has been revered by the Herald Sun for 20 years, and deservedly so. Does any outlet, anywhere, celebrate her achievements more than this? The notion of racism is totally misguided. A true legend, but her tantrums were news and warranted the attention." And he's right. There's nothing overtly racist about the cartoon. Sure, the people's features are exaggerated, but show me any cartoon where they are not. If this cartoon is racist, then so too are cartoons of Tony Abbott depicting him with oversized ears. If this cartoon is sexist, then so too are cartoons of Julia Gillard depicting her with an elongated nose. Satirical cartoons are just that, satire. They use humour, irony, exaggeration or ridicule to expose and criticise people's stupidity or vices. I'd guess there is no way Williams could have been depicted in a cartoon without somebody claiming that the artist is being sexist or racist. She's a well-built lady who often wears over-the-top outfits. She threw a tantrum on live TV in front of an international audience. I mean, of course people are going to react. There are only a couple of ways forward for Serena Williams. She can continue on the same path, labelling people as sexist or racist, or she can admit her wrongdoing and come out and apologise. Actually, that's probably her best course of action. If she came out and admitted that she's only human like the rest of us, and that she made a mistake in letting her emotions get the best of her, then she would win over a lot more fans than the current path she is on. She should be humble in her defeat, not combative. She should come out and apologise to her fans. She should teach all the young girls watching that it is not right to abuse umpires, or to call people thieves, or to threaten people. If she did this, I think many will forgive her. She just needs to admit her wrongdoing and be humble about it. That's the actions of a true sports star. I do feel for athletes who know they are reaching the end of their sporting career. It must be hard 1 year being the world's number one, and then a couple of years later falling into obscurity. There have been studies about this showing large rates of depression and other mental illness in former elite athletes. I know African American women have endured a lot, but an umpire giving you a code violation is not an example of sexism nor racism. Williams still got paid a lot of money. She only lost a single game due to her over-the-top reaction. In hindsight, the penalty was actually quite moderate. People will always be able to find examples of sexism or racism. At my son's school, there are only about 2 male teachers, the PE teacher and the principal. Should men be protesting on the streets, claiming sexism in primary schools? If you look at the armed forces, most soldiers are men. This isn't sexist, it's just the way things are. Historically and culturally, men protect women. Women are the only people able to fall pregnant and give birth to new humans. From a survival standpoint, it makes sense that they need protection in order to raise their children and to propagate the species. Chinese movies mostly contain Chinese people. This is not racist. It's just a fact that most Chinese speakers are also Chinese people. The cartoon didn't poke fun at African Americans. The cartoon didn't poke fun at women. The cartoon simply made a commentary on the actions of a single tennis player at a single tennis event. Let's not go stupid with political correctness. Serena Williams made a mistake. She's only human. We all make mistakes. Unfortunately for her, she was in front of a live international audience. If she didn't act in that way, the cartoon would never have been drawn. If she just comes out and apologises and admits her wrongdoing, then everything will be good again. This is not a racial problem. This is not a gender problem. This is a Serena Williams problem. Only she can fix this.